Call me a fagot in the middle of class? Enjoy losing your job and husband. And life, I should add. Welcome back to Reddit Chronicles. If you're new here, do consider subscribing to help me out. Let's get started. This was about 8 years ago, so this is just what I remember. So for a bit of backstory, I live in Canada, where in grade 6, you have the choice of going into French immersion, which is like regular school, but it's all in French. I took it because I enjoyed French. On to the story. So, in 6th grade, I took French immersion, and my teacher was an absolute beach. Every day, she went out of her way to make my life miserable, and because of this, I ended up having some really bad depression throughout most of my school life. I'm better now. I also had a couple of friends. The rest of the kids were a-holes. Anyways, after about a month and a half of being tormented and being called fat and stupid, I finally went to the principal. But since there was no proof of her tormenting me, there wasn't anything he could do. So one day I went to one of the electronics stores nearby my house and bought a small voice recorder so I could get proof. I collected multiple tapes of her bullying me over the few weeks. About 2 weeks in, one of my friends didn't show up for class for a few days. About 3. When he came back, he said that his grandma had a stroke and passed away, so to comfort him, I gave him a hug, and so on. Unfortunately, the teacher saw this, and she just said fairly loudly to the class, "Oh, look, the two fagots are hugging," or something like that. Fortunately, the recorder was on, and I got the whole thing on tape. After that, I took the recordings to the principal, who was pretty ticked off that she would say crap like that, and he ended up showing them to the school administrator too. After this, I found out she was fired and actually had her teaching license taken away. And the new teacher was awesome. After the school year ended, I found out that her husband actually divorced her after hearing what she said. I also found out about 2 years later that after the divorce went through, her family basically disowned her and didn't want anything to do with her. She ended up killing herself because her life was absolute crap. By the way, I was originally only going to post this in r/Prorevenge, but because she killed herself, I decided to post it here. Wow, so there you have it. Suicide. She did kind of bring it on herself though, so I don't know if I should feel too sorry. And if any of you are students, don't let this discourage you too much. If your teacher actually is verbally abusive, record it and give it to the administrators. Now onto something a bit lighter. I published a poem about my ex in a literary magazine he'd been trying to get into for years. We were both in high school, and at the end of the relationship he told me he was just in it for the sex and he didn't really mean any of it, and that I obviously just wanted him because I was horny. He then went and had a hot and heavy makeout session with my best friend and came back and told me that I was a bad kisser compared to her. Yeah, he was a jerk. Well, flashback to a few months previous, I was angry at him because he was being really hot and cold, so I wrote an angry poem about him. The magazine he'd been trying to get into had a website and would publish poems based on popularity on the website. He got me to join a few months previous, and it only had a few poems up. I decided against posting it then because it would be too mean. Well, after he pulled that crap, I decided I wanted a little revenge, so I posted the poem, and suddenly it was getting a lot of popularity, and I got a notification from the magazine saying that they want to publish it. So what was the first thing I did? Messaged him that I got published in the magazine. He got excited for me and congratulated me. Until he read the poem. Several million people have read the poem in the magazine, and to this day, he still hasn't gotten published. Yeah, I think we can agree this guy was kind of an a-hole, especially in contrast to how nice the girlfriend was, since she didn't post it initially because she thought it was too mean. Well, good job getting published, and I'll post a link to the poem in the description too. How I got my revenge on a TV show. So to begin this story, I have to explain. I'm a college student in Portugal, so sorry if my English isn't 100%. I was born and raised in Azores, some little islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. In order to pursue college, I had to move to the mainland. For this, I had to rent an apartment. It's a good apartment. 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. And it's in a quiet neighborhood, so all good. This was until they started to do construction work in the apartment above. The construction work is made by a TV show called Credo Mudei Casa, that literally translates to, "Honey, I changed the house." It's quite famous here, so they remodel the entire house, replacing everything in it with new furniture, new floor, you get it. So they make a lot of noise. I'm not the party kind of guy, and I'm a quite calm and peaceful guy that likes to stay home, have some friends here, drink a bit, play some games, etc. And also, I do a lot of my college work at night in the apartment. I spent most of the day in class. So to explain this, Portugal has a law that you can make noise from 8 AM to 6 PM. Most of my classes start around 11 or 12 PM, which works great for me, since I go to sleep around 4 AM due to all the work I have to do, and plus a little time for myself. They started drilling the floor at around 8 AM every single day. Me and my housemate were shocked by the amount of noise they were doing. We let it pass, since they shouldn't take more than a week to replace the floor. I make that assumption cause me and my dad did it once to our house back in the island. But no, that noise lasted for the entire time they were there. I got a bit upset since I couldn't sleep, but I also couldn't leave the college work undone, so I decided to try and talk to them. I went to the upstairs department and knocked. Then came this really fat and short guy looking at me like I wasn't even there, and the talk went like this. Me: "Hi, I'm from the apartment below." Fat guy: "Hey, what do you want?" "I was gonna ask if you guys could start drilling at around 10 AM. I'm a college student and I do most of my work at night. Sometimes I only get to sleep at morning. Is it possible?" "Nah, we got a job to do. You should go to sleep earlier if you want to sleep." He closes the door. I was pissed but remained calm. After all, it is kind of my fault that I go to bed at that time. Some time goes by and the noise continues. I get grumpier and grumpier. I call the customer service of the show. They said politely that there's nothing they can do about it since it's in the legal rights. I should talk to the guys in the apartment so we can come to a conclusion. Weeks go by. I'm wondering, that effing apartment is the same size as mine. How the F are they taking so long? Until a glorious morning, I wake up, normal routine, I go to the bathroom to take a shower, and when I turn on the lights, what do I see? My bathroom is full of clay. Everything completely dirty, rocks everywhere, and an effing hole right on top of the effing toilet. I'm furious. My housemate arrives home that morning. He is not a calm person in this situation. I tell him all about this. We go up to the upper apartment, and I convince him to let me talk. He agrees. I knock on the door. To my surprise, the same fat guy, but this time he was looking at me. You guys opened a hole in my bathroom." He interrupts. Yeah, we know. We already covered our part." "Okay, but what about ours?" "Can't you guys fix it? I mean, you are men. Can't you fix a house?" My friend is furious, but I calmly put my hand on him and keep talking. "No way, you broke it. You're gonna fix it unless we have to call the landlord and sue your show for this." Okay, we'll fix it. No need to get all formal." We came back to the house. We could hear them making fun of us because of the hole. My friend is furious, but I'm calm because I already thought of a way to get back at them. A couple of days go by when they finally decided to fix the hole. 2 nice guys came down and fixed it, said they were sorry and everything. We chatted, they were cool, but my revenge was already planned. Sorry dudes. Me and my friend both have JBL speakers, the good ones that can really play loud. This is where it begins. Every day I started to go to bed early now, so I can be up at 8 AM. First, I take a shower and set up for college. Then I plug both the speakers to my laptop and search for Japanese porn. You know, cause Japanese girls scream like hell in a high-pitched voice. Leave the volume up, maximum, and let it play in a loop until I get home, around 6 PM. Oh, my amusement was speechless. My housemate agreed with this, since we both started to leave the apartment earlier, until one day we heard a knock on our door. It was the fat guy. "Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but it has to stop. We're recording today, and we can't have those weird noises in the background." They record the episodes in the house, so they can authenticate the sound in the house and everything. They could easily use a studio for the sound, but they are really cheap on saving money. Nah, since you're in the legal right to make noise from 8 AM to 6 PM, I am too. I can make the noise I want in that period of time. That will really hurt the show, and you know that. People love this show. Probably your mother watches it and loves it. Maybe, but she knows how things are around here, so she doesn't really mind. I don't really mind, and the landlord doesn't mind. Can't you fix it yourself? The fat guy goes mad, starts stomping on the ground as he turns around and leaves. This continues. I see the camera crew arriving from my window. They enter the apartment, knock on my door. I didn't even answer. Just some loud, lewd noises all day. This goes on for 3 days straight with the camera crew, but one day, they never tried again. I think the episode was cancelled due to the noise. The funniest part is that they make this construction free for people. The only revenue they gain is from the viewership of the episodes. It puts a smile on my face when I know that they just wasted a budget for nothing. Ah, sweet revenge. P.S. I know this story can be petty too. I assure you, none of the construction guys took this badly. They laughed, and they would gladly start the noise a bit later, but the manager, fat guy, didn't want to for some reason. They thought it was stupid. P.P.S. When the camera crew came, I was on vacation for the week, so I was still home, but still blasting the lewd noise, but wearing my headset of course, so I could barely hear it. Oh, what a great revenge plot. This sounds like something from Malicious Compliance too. What do you guys think of these revenge stories? Did any of them go too far? Maybe not far enough? Or just right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. If you want more where that came from, simply click on one of these boxes right here. And if you liked the video, I assume you did since you're still here, I'd really appreciate if you could drop a like and a subscribe to help me grow my cat and feed my channel. I'll see you in the next episode of Reddit Chronicles.